According to Wikipedia, my first duty as father of the bride is to thank everyone for coming and helping to make this a very special day for Carrie and Matt. Unfortunately, thanks to Mother Nature trying to thin the herd and the need to maintain COVID-19 protocols to reduce the infection rate, most of you cannot be here, including me, which is why I'm recording this from my survivalist bunker in deepest St. Martin. For those brave souls who have ventured forth from such far-flung places as St. Juan, Grouville and St. John, I thank you for your courage and for putting up with the indignity of the decontamination showers. Matt, I am now required to welcome you to the family. This I do with arms flung wide, following the favourable report from MI5 following a very rigorous background check. Not many of you will know of the heroic efforts Matt has made to win me over and gain my approval. He left a very successful career as a Michelin-starred chef running his own restaurant to join Jersey Dairy Ice Cream Department, where he introduced my favourite ice cream flavour, cherry. Unfortunately, his plans were scuppered by the management, who decided to put this flavour on sale to commercial customers only and not the general public. He has pledged, however, to work his way up to CEO just so I can have the odd tub. Joking aside, having borrowed my motorbike and realising what a terrible state it was in, he decided to do a complete renovation. It now sits securely in my garage, covered with soft, warm things, waiting for the day when I can again squeeze into my protective gear and persuade Julie she really would love to go on a road trip. I continue to be amazed by the energy and skill Matt puts into creating a beautiful home for Carrie and him to live in. Having gotten one just about perfect, they decided to move straight on to an even bigger project. Thankfully, it appears to be coming to near the end, and we look forward to seeing it when it's finished. I've been blessed with one very special daughter and four special surrogate daughters in my life. Unfortunately, this will mean my family name will not be passed on to the next generation. So I've taken the liberty of completing the paperwork and starting the legal process for Matt to change his name by deed poll to Jones. This way he can move from a common English name to a common Welsh name before moving on to the very rare name of Lepavu. I will now take you back in time to the morning of the 31st of the 12th, 1999, and Carrie's arrival into this world. As with all parents, her mother and I were delighted that she arrived as a perfect little bundle. Having been checked and wiped down, she was passed to me to hold, where she proceeded to wee and poo on my arms. Louise and I had, like most parents, had long discussions on what to name our little bundle of joy. Louise, like most mothers, took a sensible, mature approach, putting forward names that had familial connections or were popular at the time. Mine was to call her Bob. Why, I hear you cry. Well, Rowan Atkinson was very popular, and in his series Blackadder, he interacted with a female character called Bob. And I found the way he said it very amusing. And if they ever met, I'd be able to sit and chuckle to myself as she was introduced as Bob. Thankfully for Carrie, her mother prevailed, and she was christened Carrie Ann. So thank you, Louise, for giving me the most precious gift, a beautiful, talented, caring daughter of whom I'm immensely proud. As with all parents, There are some events that stick in the forefront of your memory. One of mine is a trip to Euro Disney with her sister Gemma. Having navigated our way across France on the very excellent train and underground services, we spent a week enjoying the delights of Disney and the cultural highs of Paris. Having survived on fast food and some bits from a local market, I made inquiries at the hotel for a good local restaurant. I was given instructions and we found a delightful place in a courtyard. It had a leaded stained glass roof and a cast iron stairway taking to a mezzanine floor. Having viewed the memory menu, I made a lifelong friend of the head waiter by asking for a steak served blue. I asked the girls what they wanted to eat and was met by the unified voices saying, "A burger, please." I will share another moment that is seared in my memory. Having started a new job and acquiring the motorbike Matt has restored, Carrie and I went on a road trip. The plan being to ride around Normandy, stopping at campsites. Unfortunately, we had chosen to do this on the wettest summers on record. Having visited Mont Saint-Michel, we were sitting in a local creperie under an awning in the pouring rain. I turned to Carrie and said, "You're not having much fun, are you?" She simply replied, "No." After a brief discussion, we set off for Park Asterix, riding through broken sunshine and torrential rain. Luckily, I took the worst of the weather and Carrie did not fall asleep on the trip. As we checked in, I left a spreading puddle of water around me. But then we had a great time despite the weather. There are so many more I could share, but I'm just going to get into trouble for taking too long. And I don't really want to embarrass Carrie. So I will finish with this. In 1991, Simply Red had a hit called Star. Carrie, you are my star. You have brought a light and joy into my life that I cannot express. And you've gone on to share that light with others. Matt, I pass my star on to you. And I hope she will bring as much light, joy, and happiness to your life as she has to mine. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your glasses. Carrie and Matt.